Hello everybody and welcome back. The party are in this room here and we fought off some goblins and a fighter and a goblin leader, and it went a lot worse than we thought it would do. Well, the fighter and the goblin leader were quite tough, but the party have taken quite a pasting. We're completely out of spells. Well, Sylvia has one phantasmal force left and that's it. Cleric has got 16 HP and Gowan is down to 5, Sylvia is on 11 and Liz is on 16. If we have another encounter like that, we could lose somebody and the party are well aware of it, so we have a decision to make. We could press on with some sense of urgency because we know or we think that Donard met up with Cullen de Filch. Why they joined up we don't know, but Cullen we fear is dead. And Donard could either be dead or on the verge of death. If we wait for a day, might he be dead? Might we have that hanging over us? But the other side of the argument is, well, not only could there be a dead cleric, but there could be 5 other dead people to join him if we don't go back and recuperate. That argument wins the day. We can't rescue Donard or find his body in this condition. So we have to leave the cave. And then the nearest place we can go to is this goblin camp, which was raided by wolves. If anybody comes for us here, at least we won't be in their territory and they won't have that advantage. And it also has the advantage of having a lot of broken wood that we can turn into a fire. So we go back here. It wasn't that far away. It was about half a day's walk. I don't think Malin is going to memorize invisibility. We could do with a web again, that proved useful. The phantasmal forces have proved useful as well. 1 sleep, 1 shield and 2 magic missiles. Gowan is going to learn 2 healing spells and a hold person. So we bed down for the night, and as we do we try to think of some backstory as to why Cullen and Donard decided to travel together. And when Gowan met them on the road, she did say her opinion of them was that they seemed to be travelling out of necessity. Certainly Donard showed no real companionship towards Cullen. But we are constantly reminded of that image of Cullen's severed hand in a box, and we really hope that isn't the fate for Donard. Wake up the next day, we go back to the cave system. This cave system here is entirely separated from this one, apart from a tiny little crevice you can go through. So I'm sure if you were playing this, your dungeon master would tell you you have a cave entrance on the west or the east. Which one do you explore? We followed wolf and bandit tracks into this one. We really will not be exploring this one, and I won't spoil it for you should you wish to try it. But we're going to make it all the way back to here, and we are immediately faced with an uphill series of icy steps into this area here. I've had to slightly modify this bit. This part here I've twisted up so it didn't run off my graph paper. So the party come through here and we've immediately got a junction, which is northwest or south. 1 to 3 northwest. Okay, and we explore this icy way, and the first thing we notice is the lack of footprints in the frost and the lack of anything discarded, like an old burnt out torch, a bit of animal bone. This immediately becomes an icy, snowy, disused tunnel. We could pursue this one further. This one ends in a dead end, but it doesn't look as though it has the signs of life that we have seen from here. So we go back and we go southward. We have been told there is a ruined temple here. We've come across 2 ruined temples in our 2 adventures, so here's 3 out of 3. So Liz is going to stealth ahead to have a look at this one. And she successfully hides in shadows. That takes her to here. But she doesn't move silently. but that doesn't seem to make a difference. This area seems to be empty, and it has in the middle of it a plinth with a statue, and the statue is of a giant toad. Let's read up briefly in this room. The roof of this natural cavern arches to a height of 30 feet. Stalactites and stalagmites stand near the walls. A large statue of a toad dominates the centre of the room. Even though its belly and throat lie flat to the floor, the statue rises to a height of 10 feet. Its multifaceted eyes bug out of its head like a fly's. When light strikes them, they flash and scintillate with fascinating patterns. Is this another statue with jewels for eyes? Well, Liz reports that back to the rest of the party, and it seems to be empty. This place is lit by the odd torch here and there, which the bandits maintain, but it isn't fully lit. It's quite a gloomy place, but the whiteness of the snow and the ice does a lot of light reflection, so one torch goes a long way. But we enter into the temple here, and we walk, and we see a passage seems to go to the east. Well, as we bypass this statue of a toad, we have to think, what a bizarre thing. But as soon as we get to here, from out of the shadows hop 4 rock toads. Now, what is a rock toad? A rock toad is a new monster. It's got an extremely high armor class of 2. It has hit dice of 3+1, quite a slow movement rate. It has 1 bite plus a charm attack. It can paralyze somebody for 2 to 8 rounds if they fail a saving throw versus paralysis. Like, this could get very serious. And we're told they attack anybody who enters the temple who is unaccompanied by the master. Well, we have the master killed, so he's not going to accompany anybody. Right, so yep, we get attacked by 4 rock toads. They hop out of the darkness. Do they surprise us? And they do. Right, that means everybody has to make a saving throw versus paralysis. So it's an 8 for Carrick. Carrick saves. Go-Win has to throw a 14. She fails. Malin has to throw a 13. He succeeds, so Carrick and Malin succeed. Liz has to throw an 11. She throws a 17. And finally Sylvia has to throw a 13 or more, and she fails. So we've got Malin, Carrick and Liz, who are the only 3 who succeed. How many rounds are they out for? Going is out for 7 rounds. And Sylvia is out for 6. That's probably them out for this entire fight. Okay, right, this is not going to go too well. Right, so let's fight 4 rock toads with an AC of 2, with 1 dwarf, 1 thief, and a magic user. Well, Carrick is going to rush forward to here, and the 4 toads are going to take him on. Right, I'm going to assume that Carrick got some healing. He's currently on 16 HP. Yep, and he got another 6. He's up to 22. They took us by surprise. They paralysed 2 of our party, and they now have 4 attacks on Carrick, and their THAC0 is 16, so they need a 17 or more to hit. That's a miss. It's a miss. That's a miss. And that's a miss. Right. So it is round 1. And it's mutual. I'll do all that again. 1 miss. 2 misses. 3 misses. one hit. Luckily for just 1 HP, he's done 21. Right, Liz is gonna, she's gonna stay well back and shoot. And she does a very good shot. She definitely hits AC 2 and does 6 damage. One is from 14 to 8. Spells. Malon's gonna move to here. That's his round. And Carrick. Excellent hit. Nearly top damage. Does 12 damage to 1. It's from 22 to 10. So it's round 2. And they get initiative. Okay. That's a hit for 5 HP. That's a miss. That's a miss. And that's a really good blundering miss. Our turn. Liz is going to fire another arrow. No, she misses. Spells. Malin is going to cast Web here, and that will take out at least 2 of these toads. Let's remind ourselves what a web actually does. Okay, it'll take 2 to 8 turns for the people in the web to break free. It also can be burnt for 1d6 damage. Let's see how long these toads are held for. One is held for 6 rounds. And one is held for 3. And then Carrick is going to take another swing. Well, he hits but does indeterminable damage there. Okay, 4 damage. The one on him is from 10 to 6. It's round 3. And we get initiative. Is Malin going to burn that web? No, he's not. But he might throw throwing daggers at the ones caught in it. So we'll give him a +4 to his Thaco roll. And he still misses. We'll give Liz an attack. Oh, she misses badly again. And it's Carrick's go. And he hits AC 5. That's a miss. That was a bad round. My Carrick's got 2 toads in him. That's a miss. And that's a miss. So it's round 4. And they get initiative. And that's a hit for 6 points. Oh boy. And that's a miss. Liz. Nice hit. Does 5 damage. One is from 8 to 3 points. Malin. Malin, try a dagger. And with 4 onto that, he does indeed hit AC 1 and does 3 damage. And one is from 19 to 16. And Carrick. Can Carrick at least kill one of them? One of them in him. One of them is under 6 HP. Oh, yeah, he does hit it, but it is down to 1 HP. Round 5, and this is the last round that one of the giant toads is held in the web. And we get initiative. Right. Liz. Kill one. No, despite everything, that's a miss. Malin, shoot one in the... 16. No, that's one for short range. 17. Remember, I'm adding 4 because it's held into the web. Plus 1 for short range is 17. That hits the AC 2 and does another 3 damage. It's down to 13. And Carrick, can he at least kill 1. Yes, he can, and 1 is dead. Round 6. And they get initiative. One of the ones is freed from the web, and also Sylvia is freed from her paralysis. They do have a morale, which is actually quite low. So with 1 dead, what happens to the morale? And it breaks. They hop off like this. There's still 1 caught in a web, which is down to 13 HP. One of them has 3 HP, it hops off. One is at full health with 17. Well, the one that's still stuck in the web, let's have goes at it. Sylvia hits and does 5 damage. She's a bow +1, so it's down to 12. Liz misses. Cleric, well, he can't really access the web. Well, he doesn't want to get caught in it, but he will change to his crossbow. Round 7, and Gowan comes out of paralysis. Toad is still in the web. Let's see if we can get 3 more hits on it. And even with all her bonuses, Sylvia misses. Liz misses badly. Carrick hits. 9 +1 for short range. He misses. Things caught in a web. Right. Round 8. The web dissipates and that toad... Sorry, the web is still there. That toad breaks free of it and it also decides to hop away. There's 2 injured toads, 1 very badly injured and 1 dead one. And we are gathered here. And the toads disappear into the darkness of these stalactites. We have no interest in pursuing them. We're satisfied they have been taught their lesson. So let us gather our breath for a minute and maybe cast 1 more healing spell and use the Staff of Healing on our dwarf. But we'll do that in a minute. Carrick is down to 12 hit points. Gowan is still only on 5. We have a Staff of Healing and 1 healing spell left. And we have still got about 2 potions of healing. We did find some at the end of the horror on the hill. Let's use the Staff of Healing on Carrick. Right, he's up to 16 again. And let's use it on Gowan. And she is up to 11. Now this little quest to find Donard, alive or dead, this little dungeon is quite difficult. So I think we're going to take it a bit cautiously. Let's see if Liz can hide in shadows. Well, she can't, but remember she thinks she can. Let's see if she can move silently. Nope, and she fails to do that again, but she thinks she has. So she creeps around here and she comes to another of these animal skin curtains. And she easily listens behind that and she hears voices. There seems to be at least 3, maybe 4 voices, and they're human. More bandits. Bandits are tough. She's gonna creep all the way back and report this to the gang. Right, the party make it into this room here and we know there are bandits in here. So we pull back the curtain and do we get surprise? We do get surprise. Good, because the first thing we're going to do is fire 2 arrows onto what we see are 4 people. We catch them by surprise. They're playing cards around the table. And Liz, with her short range bonus, hits a C7. She misses. Sylvia, short range on a longbow +1, does 4 points of damage off one of them. He's down from 6 to 2. Gowan is going to cast a spell and she's going to cast Hold Person. One of the targets is a cleric and there are 3 fighters with different HP. I'll do a green dice for the cleric and a yellow dice for the lowest HP fighter, and they have to throw a 16 or more. And they fail. They're held. And then we have 2 fighters. And they both fail. So those are 4 people held. We're on a mission. Donard might be dying, if not dead already. We dispatch these people as quickly as we can, and we move on, and we go around here. We're not really creeping anymore, and we come round a corner and we find a prison cell, and in that prison cell, well, what do we see, and do we want to see it? The party stop at the bars of the cell. Inside they see what they were looking for, and it wasn't what they wanted. Colin's body is lying there in a twisted posture. His hand has been cut off, but it probably happened after he was killed. His head is twisted, and it looks like his neck was broken. Beside him lies the body of Donard. The party throw open the cell door and quickly gather around him. It doesn't look like him. His face has lost all that familiar lack of control. The frowning, the jaw clenching, the nose wrinkling, the lip curling, even the staring into the distance when he can't believe what he's just seen, all gone. He looks like he was a kind, gentle person, says Gowan. Aye, says Carrick, that's the face he would have had if life had been a bit kinder and he'd been a bit luckier. Bastards, Liz whispers, and her voice cracks. Sylvia falls to her knees and takes Donard's hand. She starts crying. We can't leave him here, says Malin. It's not right. You can't dig a grave in these hills, says Gowan, sorry to be practical. Aye, says Carrick again, but we can build a cairn. Let us carry him outside. I can take his arms, and each of you can take his legs. They heave Donard off the icy cell floor and slowly carry him out of this cold dungeon. Malin, in his mind, is transported to the fateful day and threshold when he carried the clerical Lena to the temple the first time he had seen Donard. The party make it outside and they rest Donard on the ground. The air is cold and their breath forms frosty clouds. We need to gather some stones, says Carrick. The larger the better, but whatever you can carry. We'll make a pile here. They split up and look for stones, which isn't difficult in this rocky terrain. Malin just stands there, leaning on his staff. Malin, his sister calls. Give him a minute, Sylvia says. As they gather their first stones and drop them onto the pile, Malin calls out in alarm. Everyone runs over to him. Look, he says, pointing at Donard. What? They ask. I saw it. What? They ask again. This? He blows a puff of frosty breath. I saw some breath coming out. The party stop and stare at the cleric, but nothing happens. Well, says Gowan, the dead often have air still in them. You probably did see it, but it's not what you think. I'm sorry. Stop doing this, says Liz, annoyed. It's not fair on the rest of us. You take death hard, son, says Carrick. That's no bad thing. He pats Malin on the shoulder. They go back to finding more stones. Malin remains. He doesn't like being wrong, and he's stubborn enough to prove something to the last degree to know if he is wrong. Also, his curiosity doesn't have sensible boundaries. While everyone else is busy, he quickly takes the end of his staff of healing and touches Donard's body with it. Liz drops a heavy stone onto their growing pile. She looks up annoyed at Malin. Her brother runs over to Carrick shouting, "A potion, a healing potion, quick!" The dwarf looks confused. Malin frantically says something, and both he and the dwarf run over to Donard's body. Everyone else drops their stones and follows. Look, says Malin, I knew it. He points. What? Demands Liz. Sylvia gasps. A very faint, small wisp of frosty air flows out of the cleric's mouth. They look to Gowan for her diagnosis. But before she can speak, another weak little mist appears. Carrick fumbles for a healing potion and he struggles to take the cork out. He shoves it towards Gowan. Here, you're better at this. Gowan takes the potion and kneels beside Donard. Just a bit at a time, she says. Take it gently. She's talking to herself. She opens Donard's lips and pours in a dribble of potion. Nothing changes. The next minute takes an age to pass before Gowan pours some more. She sits back. He's still on the verge of death. I can't promise this will work. Sylvia grasps Liz's hand and squeezes it. Then Donard's eyelids open just a bit, just enough for the others to see his pupils. His eyes slowly look around. They rest for a moment on each of the faces of his friends. He gives the smallest, least imperceptible of nods, then closes his eyes again. What does that mean? Cries Liz to Gowan. The cleric sits back. I did all that I could. The party find themselves staring at Donard. He gives a slow, shallow exhale, and after an age, yet another. Give him the rest of the potion, Carrick urges. Go indoors, and the party do nothing but wait.